Hi everyone, my name is Shauna in case you don't know, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a reading vlog. I always say I'm never going to do another reading vlog because I always suck at them, but then I get in the mood to film another reading vlog. So I am going to be reading a book on my Kindle today. I'm going to be reading Something Wild and Wonderful by Anita Kelly. I actually met Anita Kelly back in November, and I really liked hearing them talk, and I requested their book on NetGalley a while ago. I got approved, but I also got approved for like 40 NetGalley books at the same time, so I didn't get a chance to read Something Wild and Wonderful before its publication date. So I will be reading it now, and I'm going to take you along for the journey. I don't remember the specifics of the plot right now. I think it is male loves male. I know religion plays an element in the story, and I think it has to do with like hiking some big trail, I want to say in like California. So I will let you know more about the plot as the video goes on. Hopefully I enjoyed this book because Anita Kelly literally lives in my city, and I think that's really cool. So I'm gonna go read Something Wild and Wonderful and let you know what I think. So this is why I suck at reading vlogs, because I can never figure out the best angle. I was annoyed with how shaky my hand was in the last clip, so I'm trying this. Not a huge fan of this setup, so maybe I'll figure this out by the end of this vlog. Who knows? I read up to 28% of Something Wild and Wonderful, which I calculated it, and it's about 107 pages into the book. At first I was struggling getting used to Anita Kelly's style of writing, especially since it's a third-person dual perspective book that's romance. Like, most of the romances I read are first person. It could be first person, like multiple perspectives, but like generally it's first person. So I was struggling getting used to that for a while, but I really got into the groove of things. I really like Alexi and Ben as a couple and how they work together. I feel like they're both helping each other with so many different things, and I love how like calm and patient and understanding Ben is with Alexi. I think that's really cute. I can give you a little more of a plot summary now. Basically, Alexi was disowned by his family for being gay, and Alexi is planning on moving away from his hometown and starting his life fresh. He's doing this Alexi 2.0 where he wants to be a better version of himself. So he's having his like last hurrah with the West Coast before he moves. So he's doing the Pacific Crest Trail. There we go, got the name of the trail now. And he bumps into this guy named Ben. Now, Ben was traveling with this group of guys that he wasn't like the biggest fan of. So Ben decides to ask Alexi if he can travel with him, and Alexi says sure, even though Alexi's a little like hesitant about it because Alexi's planning on like traveling the trail by himself and like having lots of time for reflection. So they're sort of like sticking together and traveling, and it keeps going on and on. Like, Alexi keeps thinking like, oh, tomorrow will be the day that we'll like split up and not travel together anymore, but then he keeps getting drawn in by Ben and they keep traveling together more. I feel like I can really relate to a lot of different parts about both of them. I feel like I am patient and understanding and gentle and kind like Ben, but I also feel like I relate to a lot of the anxiety surrounding social interactions that Alexi has. I also feel like Alexi seems like he has autism, but I don't know if the book will ever address that or if it will just be something that's like vaguely there. Like, a lot of his mannerisms and a lot of his symptoms of anxiety or supposed anxiety feels like autism. I mean, I'm not the expert on autism. I haven't been diagnosed with autism or anything like that, but I do feel like Alexi definitely has some symptoms of autism, which isn't a bad thing, to be clear. I just wonder if the book will ever address that. And also, there's a really cute scene that happened. I don't know if it's going to be spoiling it too much to tell you this. It's probably not going to spoil too much. Anyways, there's a really cute scene that was happened from something that happens to Ben that also happens to me, which is some people, when they deal with stress and their like fight or flight response kicks in, they fall asleep. My dog's like, what are you doing? Who are you talking to? And it led to a really cute scene, and like, I unfortunately have that, and I never thought I could see it in a positive light, because literally, if someone sends me, for example, a message that is stressful and like starting of a conflict, I'll like open the message and then fall asleep. Like, I can't process anything, I can't deal with anything, I just fall asleep, which Ben is like that, so fun to read about. So far, I would say that's about a 4-star book, but I'm only 28% into it so far, so that obviously could change. I think I know what the like conflict breakup thing could be towards the end. Like, I feel like Alexi isn't confident enough in himself, and I feel like he has a lot of anxiety, so he might try and like push Ben away at some point because he might think that it's the right thing to do. So I think that's what the conflict will be. Not really sure yet. Gotta keep reading to find out. I think my dogs want to go out to go potty, so I'm gonna have to do that. They made me take them out in the middle of me reading, and I hate when they do that, but they did. And yeah, I'm gonna have to go take them out to go potty. I take them out every like 2 hours or so, okay? So like I'll take them out right before I start reading, and then I'll read, and then I'll take them out right after I'm done with my like 2 hours of reading for the night. I have OCD, so I'm very like regimented, that's not the right word, rigid in my schedule for the day. So anyways, I take the dog's potty before and after I read, so I get a little annoyed when they interrupt me in the middle, but they're dogs with bladders. They have to go pee sometimes. So yeah, I'm gonna go take my dogs out, and then I have to do some schoolwork because fun, I have summer classes. Also, I realized, look, I'm wearing the shirt that I was wearing when I met Anita Kelly. I realized the other day, when I wear this shirt, if you don't see the Let It Go, it looks like there's just like balloons with different like phobias and hatreds in there, like misogyny, transphobia, bigotry, those things. It looks like they're just fun balloons with them in there. But then if you like look at the rest of the shirt, it makes sense because it's meaning like let it go, move on from being a hateful bigot. That's what it's supposed to like mean, you know? Anyways, enough rambling for tonight. Gotta go do some schoolwork and maybe watch some TV. And I'll talk to all of you tomorrow when I do some more reading. So I wrote some more. I'm now 58% of the way through, and I am now at about 222 pages. I am still really enjoying it. I think it's a really good book. The thing that I predicted would happen as the conflict happened so much earlier than I was anticipating, and so now I'm wondering, like, is there going to be another conflict, or like what? I really wish more books would do like an external conflict as opposed to an internal conflict when they have to split up couples for a little bit. I don't know if it will like do that, but I feel like there is the potential because they are on the Pacific Crest Trail, which obviously has a lot of chances for people to get hurt. There was a very intense scene that I just like finished my reading on tonight, and it's just hard because it's like important to like represent, and it's not gonna like impact my rating of the book or anything. It just like sucks that it happens, and it sucks that like I read that and felt like anger, but I was also like, this is so real to the world. Just there was a homophobic sort of not physical attack but like verbal attack on Alexi and on Ben, and there was a warning for it at the start of the book. It just still sucks because it felt like the Pacific Crest Trail became like this safe spot for Alexi and Ben to be themselves and to like discover who they are more, and then freaking homophobic bigots have to go in and ruin everything. Just sucks. Other things, I got to some spice. I'm not opposed to spice in books. I think the spice was done fairly well. I'm just glad that like it happened gradually. I'm glad that the spice wasn't like thrown out there right off the bat. Like it definitely took some time to like build up to trusting each other enough for that, which I really appreciate in books. I'm trying to think if there's anything else that I want to mention from tonight's reading session. Nothing is really coming to mind. Let me look at my pictures on my phone really quickly. Be right back. Okay, so 3 things. So first of all, there's a scene in which a character is compared to a hot gay angel. Freaking loved that. I was like smiling. I don't like laugh or giggle at books. Like I'm not that type of person unless the book is written so poorly that it's funny, which is not the case with this book at all. So I was like smiling because it was like a really cute and funny scene. Oh my gosh, I have such bad memory issues. I literally forgot the other 2 things I was going to talk about. Oh yeah, okay, I remember now. I love how much more depth is being added to Ben now, because I feel like Alexi really had more depth at first with his struggles, but I feel like Ben is finally, you're getting to see more of who he is now that I'm this far in the book, and I really appreciate that. Ben also like did something that I feel like could border on stalkerish. Like I don't know if it will like create a conflict later in the book or anything, but like Ben, I know you like Alexi, but just don't get his personal information like the way that he did. I'll leave it at that. I'm trying to keep this video as spoiler free as possible. The only other thing I have to say is the thing about reading arcs is that they're like unfinished. They will have different like punctuation sometimes in there to like some that I've read will just say like advanced reader's copy in the middle of pages just to like try and get it so that people aren't like basically copying the whole thing and posting it online. Especially because if you put like advanced reader copy in there and someone just like copies and pastes everything onto like a like illegal pirating site, you know, then you can be like, oh, this is one of the ARC readers who leaks this information, so I can go look through the list of all the ARC readers and figure it out. You know, I think it's smart. At the same time though, this one just will randomly every few pages say page numbers. Not the actual page number, but just the words page numbers in parentheses. And it's so random, and it cuts off part of every sentence. And it isn't like shoved in between lines, it's shoved in the middle of sentences. I'm like, stop, I want the freaking words. It's just something that I have to put up with being an ARC reader, and I am used to it. It's just still a little annoying. Whoa, I just turned my head and yawned because I'm tired. I've been so tired lately. And I found this book, and it looks old. I think it's one of my parents' books. It looks old. It looks ancient. It smells ancient. I don't even know why I'm getting distracted right now. It's even older than my parents. So it is very ancient. No, but seriously, I have such bad attention issues that I'm surprised that I don't go on side tangents more in my videos. Like sometimes I'll just start like fiddling with something or doing something or like just thinking about something, and I'm like, hang on a second, the camera is recording me. I can't do this right now. It's taking up storage space. But yeah, I realized that I need to not be so like relaxed on my reading schedule for this book, because I realized I need to start reading the next book for my class really soon. So I'm hoping to finish this one in the next 2 days, maybe even tomorrow. Probably not tomorrow, probably in the next 2 days. I need to finish it, that way I can get started on reading the next book for my class, because I'm taking an English class this term. And listen, I love me some reading. I do not like taking English classes. It takes the fun out of reading for me. So I'm trying to like prioritize school books. But also I think where I failed in the past when I've taken English courses is sometimes I like don't allow myself any time to read for fun, and I focus just on the school books, and then I get in a slump. So I'm trying not to do that because I hate being in reading slumps. Yeah, I'm gonna go work on some schoolwork because I have some discussion post question thingies to do, and tomorrow I have a little Comic-Con, so I will be tired when I talk to all of you tomorrow because I have to get up early in the morning for the Comic-Con, and I'm not a morning person. I normally wake up at 2 p.m. A fun fact of the day, if you see a video of mine being released before 2 p.m, know that I 100% scheduled in advance. Okay, that was just another side tangent. I should probably go because I'm just rambling now. I'm getting distracted by everything. I need to go do schoolwork. So I'll talk to all of you tomorrow when I read more. Hopefully I have some more good updates to bring. I am really enjoying Something Wild and Wonderful, and I hope that I continue enjoying it. I read more. I believe I'm up to 82% now. I didn't calculate what page number I'm at yet, but just know that I will finish this book tomorrow. Today was a long day because I went to a Comic-Con, and then I hung out in downtown Portland, and then I accidentally ran into a fascist protest on my way out of Portland. Yeah, that was interesting, and it sort of stressed me out a bit. But I really enjoyed what I read tonight. I'm feeling a little like emotional about it all because like I understand where the characters are coming up from with this split, but I sort of feel like if Alexi had gone to therapy like sooner to process everything, maybe things wouldn't be as bad. Which again, I've said this before, I will say it again, nothing wrong with therapy. It's a great thing, and I think it can genuinely help a lot of people. When I say someone should go to therapy, I don't mean it in like a bad way. I mean it in like I think therapy could help this person, and I feel like Alexi just has like some family stuff that he's got to work through. The fact that like Ben has some personal information of Alexi's, I feel like that would come into play with them like reconnecting, but also a little stalkerish Ben, but I get it. So I haven't read A Chef's Special yet, which is the first book by Anita Kelly, but for this book, like it connects to their first book, Chef's Special. I think that's what, no, it's not called Chef's Special. It's called Love and Other Disasters, and the reality TV show in there is called Chef's Special. I can do words. I think these like connections with like friends and family that Ben is having in Tennessee would be more impactful for me if I had read Love and Other Disasters first, but I haven't, so I don't really feel like as invested in the like friendship type stuff. I do think it's like cool that like Alexi is finally finding a group of people to like feel accepted and supported by. I'm just not like as into that because again, I haven't read Love and Other Disasters. I am still enjoying the book. I still feel like there's a little something missing from it, so it still is feeling about 4 stars for me. Unless something like drastically changes in that last 18% of the book, this will probably be a 4-star read for me. Also, one more thing to mention before I go for the night. There's a character with my name in this freaking book, same spelling. Love that. Love that, because I don't see my name in books often. So The Charm Offensive by Alison Cochrane had a character with my name that was not a main character but had a decent part of the story. And then there's this one, Something Wild and Wonderful, which the characters only mentioned really, really briefly, but it's my name, it stands out to me. And then the only third book with my name in it, my name isn't spelled like the same, but in the Divergent series, there's a character named Shauna. But my name is not spelled with a U like it is in the Divergent series. So yeah. So, really enjoying this one. Can't wait to finish it tomorrow and tell you what my thoughts are. And I really hope that the third act conflict gets resolved in a healthy and well-rounded and well-written way. Because sometimes third act conflicts get very rushed in their resolution. So I'll let y'all know what I think tomorrow. And yeah, talk to all of you very soon. I finished it, and I also almost broke my toe. Literally 45 minutes before I picked up my Kindle to read tonight, my dogs were getting into a scuffle. Basically, my younger dog goes after my older dog, and my older dog does not like it. And it's like just playful, but my younger dog does not understand boundaries and that she needs to stop. So they were like getting in a little scuffle. So I ran outside to go stop them. Completely biffed and smashed my foot into a wood step. I have a massive blood blister. My toe might be broken, but I still managed to finish Something Wild and Wonderful. So my rating is still gonna stay for 4 stars, but some more thoughts did come up in the last little bit of the book. So basically, when I stopped reading last night, it was just like normal prose, and then it switched to like 8% of letters, which I don't mind letters in books. I found some of them actually healing for me to read. I don't really talk about this much. I am a member of the LGBTQ plus community, and I am religious, and I will not talk about my religion too much on here. But I have these 2 identities that like intersect. So having a character like Alexi who also has these identities that intersect really means a lot to me. And it felt like healing to read some of the discoveries that Alexi was making about himself. I really liked the letters that he wrote to his parents. I really liked the things that he said. However, 8% of letters was jarring, and I wish that it would have been more like smoothly incorporated to the story. Like maybe we could have gotten a little less letters and a little more of like Alexi traveling the trail and Ben figuring out how he felt about everything. I do have to say that I am very satisfied with the conclusion of this story. I think the conclusion was really sweet and it was done really well. And the stalkerish thing, creepy thing that I thought Ben might do, he didn't do, which is a relief. It's a big freaking relief. I wonder if he ever brought that up to Lexi and was like, hey, I had your address before I ever went to your house. I wonder if he just ever brought that up. I don't want to spoil it, but 2 things that I like mentioned earlier in the video sort of happened, and I was very satisfied about that, to see those things happen in the end of the book. I think Anita Kelly is a fantastic author, and I'm very much looking forward to reading more of their works. I have Love and Other Disasters, like a physical copy of it, so I will read that some point soonish. I always say I'm going to read a book soon, and then the next thing I know, it's like 3 years before I get around to it, but I am going to try and read Love and Other Disasters soon, hopefully soon. At least if I see Anita Kelly is coming to local bookstores again, I am gonna force myself to read Love and Other Disasters sooner. I'm gonna do it. I do recommend checking the trigger warnings in full for this book, because the main 2 that I think people should be aware of is that there is homophobia and disownment from parents, and there is discussions of dealing with older people as they are passing away. And these topics can get a bit intense at times, so I don't think this book is for everyone. However, I think it was really good for me to read. I really enjoyed my time with this book. Also, only adults should read this book because of the content matter, but I really enjoyed this book. So yeah, it is a 4-star read for me, which means that I really enjoyed it. I will recommend it to people. It won't be on my favorites, but it is still a really solid and entertaining book. One other thing that I want to bring up really quickly that I'm frustrated by is reading the reviews for Anita Kelly's books, including the like featured reviews that whoever chose the featured reviews for Something Wild and Wonderful decided to include in the book. Why are these reviews misgendering Anita Kelly so much? Anita Kelly is non-binary and uses they, them pronouns. It's not that hard, and it's really bizarre that people are praising a queer book with non-binary characters and still misgendering the author. Doesn't make sense to me at all. I'm a little frustrated on that. Did I sort of leave a comment on someone's review asking them to correct that and pointing out how they're misgendering the author? Yeah, I did. Will they do anything about it? I doubt it, because it's a social media comment. How often do social media comments actually do any change in the world, you know? But I was getting a little frustrated at that, because I'm like, really? You gave a queer book like 4 or 5 stars, you said that you loved it, and you still misgendered the author? Frick you. Like, that's what I would say if I were a more confrontational person, but I was much more chill, like, hey, you misgendered them. So yeah, I think people should read Something Wild and Wonderful because I think it's a very fun and enjoyable book, and I think the setting for the book is really unique because it's a love story on the Pacific Crest Trail, which I think is really fun and interesting. I don't see enough romance books out in nature, so I found this one to be really enjoyable and fun. And I think that's all for this vlog. I hope all of you enjoyed it. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to me if you haven't already. My full written review of Something Wild and Wonderful will be up on Goodreads, and I will link that down in the description below in case anyone wants to check out my written review. I tend to be a lot more like coherent and calm, and I try and seem smart in my reviews sometimes. Don't know what I'll do with this review because I need to wrap up this video and go write the review. I hope all of you are having a great month. I hope that you enjoyed Something Wild and Wonderful if you had a chance to read the book. If you have not had a chance to read the book, I highly recommend you do that if it sounds interesting to you, because I regret not reading it sooner. I wish I could have read it before the publication date because I really liked it. Anyways, I'll see all of you in my next video. Until next time, goodbye.